What is Essential Graphics in After Effects and Premiere Pro? Essential Graphics mainly was created to be used in Premiere Pro. The concept goes like this. You create an animation in After Effects, be it a lower third, a transition, a title animation, whatever you like, as long as it is motion graphics. Then you create from the Essential Graphics panel a template. You export this template, then you go to Premiere Pro, and actually you will find it over there, as simple as this. In addition to that, you can add certain properties that you can change in Premiere Pro. In this example, I added the font and the style and some top bar, colors and stroke that you can change. So I can go back to Premiere, and over here I can click on the info, for example, and edit this information here. I can change the source text, I can change the roboto, and so on, all I need. This is very practical, and you avoid one thing, is creating transparent background for your animation. That's one. Two, you allow the user or the editor in Premiere to change the properties that you have set in After Effects Essential Graphics template over here. And this is what we are going to explore in this section. How to create an Essential Graphics template, what properties can you add in the Essential Graphics template and make it sophisticated, and then when you come back to Premiere Pro, how to change these properties. Actually here it's very easy. So let's dive in the next lecture and start creating the template. Maybe I forgot to mention in the previous lectures that the Essential Graphics started to exist in After Effects and in Premiere since CC 2017. If you're using any version that is prior to CC 2017, Essential Graphics does not exist there. Now, in CC 2019, Essential Graphics have become very powerful and very feasible to be used at 100% between After Effects and Premiere. So let's start. Here I created a very simple animation. Okay, and we are making it simple for the course. If you notice, it has an intro. That's the intro. And it has an outro. And it has a stable time somewhere here around 2 seconds and few frames. So I want to create a template from this animation and export it to Premiere Pro. So how does it work? First of all, you need to bring the Essential Graphics panel. You can come to the workspace and go to Essential Graphics if you like to. Or you can come to Window and check Essential Graphics. Now the only difference is the Essential Graphics panel is just in the middle here. That's it. Now let's say you want to create the template for the lower third composition here. You will right click and say Open in Essential Graphics. So it will pop up here for you. It's already there for me. Now the first thing, you want to give it a good name. For our course, LT for lower third from AE is cool. Then you can change the master here. We have selected the lower third, that's why lower third is here. You can select another composition, but make sure it's open down here. Okay, so I will select lower third and come to master and write lower third. Now the decision comes, which properties you want to allow the user or the video editor in Premiere to change. In our case here, surely he will want to change our colors because they're very bad, and the background color here for the bottom bar. And of course you want him to change the text, maybe the color of the text or so, and maybe the stroke of this top bar here. So how do you do that? You come to Solo Supported Properties. If you click on it, within your composition here, it will list for you all the properties that you can add to the templates. Now, not every single property is available here to be dropped inside Essential Graphics. Some of them are not available. So let's take the text first of all. What are the properties that are available? First of all, we have the source text. Of course, you want him to change the text itself. He might not want to write happening now, so you would give him the source text ability to change. A new option in CC 2019 is the edit properties, which was making a lot of trouble, by the way. You can allow him to change the kind of font, enable custom font selection. You could also enable the user in Premiere to change the font size and the 4 styles. These are the 4 bold, the italic, and so on. I usually go for the 3 of them to lessen the problem of them calling me or having to come back to After Effects, and you click OK. You notice you can already set the font here if you like to. You can do changes just from over here. We see that. Now let's go to the top bar. I'm going to make this one bigger so we see more here. In the top bar, you can give him the size, okay, position, roundness. But what's mostly important is the stroke, for example. You want him to change the stroke color or the stroke width. So let's give him that, stroke color and stroke width. And also on the top bar, you want to change the color. Here you are, that's the fill color, of course. And maybe we give him to change the opacity, why not? So we take opacity and drop it. Look what's happening here. I have color, stroke width, color, I don't know what are these. So you have a possibility to format. You can add a group, and within the group you can take the color, for example, of the top bar, the stroke, put it inside the group, here you are, and the color of the top bar, we put it inside the group, and the opacity, we put it inside the group. So opacity is okay, you can call it transparency. The color, now let's say background color. The stroke width, you can leave it stroke width, everybody understands this. The color here is not clear, so we call it stroke color. And that's it for this group. Let's change the name of the group, just clicking on it, and you change the name and say top bar. So within the template now, you can change about the top bar. Notice you have a group now, and the source text, font, style, size, and so on. You can add more for the lower bar, for example. Let's do that. First, I will create a group and call it lower bar. And then within this group, I will come to lower bar. That's the bottom bar here. Maybe I will give him the fill color only. Here you are. Okay. And the opacity, if he wants to make it less opaque. Okay. So here I'm going to call it background color. And then here opacity will leave it. So now it's not yet organized. We need to drag this on the lower bar and this one also on the lower bar. Depends how you added them. So now you have set your template to be exported. And that's what we are going to see in the next lecture. Now, if you're ready, you like your animation, and you set up your templates in the right way, you can start exporting. You click on the Export Motion Graphics template, and it will open a dialog box for you. Notice I saved the project behind. And here you have the destination. You can use the specialized local templates folder. And if you do choose a local templates folder, it will find and automatically will list the template inside the Premiere Pro. If you choose local drive, then you will have to browse to the destination where you want to save. And when you go to Premiere Pro, then you will have to navigate to this drive and load the templates. So it's much nicer to use local templates folder. You have two messages here for compatibility. The first one is about the fonts, and it's trying to ensure that the fonts are within Adobe fonts. Now this could be very interesting because you cannot assume that the other user that is opening the template in Premiere Pro has the same font. So it's nicer to use fonts from Adobe fonts sometimes. Now the next message is very interesting. Some templates will require that After Effects is installed, so it can use its engine to play the template. So it depends on the complexity of your template. You can list few keywords so you are able to find this template in Premiere. You can click OK, and here it says file already exists. Do you want to replace it? That's very interesting because it's not appending, it's not amending, it's just overwriting on the old template. In my case, of course, I have this template already. You click OK, you check the fonts a bit, sometimes for long, and then it will save. Now that we saved in the local template folder, where is this folder? I'm going to show you. The local folder is inside users, then your name, then the application data, and notice app data here is a hidden folder within Windows. So to see it, you need to show hidden. Then it's inside roaming, Adobe, common, and now it's called motion graphics template. Before it used to be called essential graphics. Now it has a nicer name, and you will notice that our template is just over here with some other. And there are some folders here for all the templates installed for Premiere Pro CC 2019. I advise you to always use the local folder. Now that you know where they are, you can come over here and delete them or remove them. Actually, being hidden from you is much better. Cool, guys. So now that you have saved, in the next lecture, we're going to go to Premiere Pro and see exactly what happens. Since we exported in the previous lecture, it's time to go to Premiere and see exactly where is this template and how to use it. So let's do that. I will go to Premiere. Here you are. And you come to your graphics workspace, or you open the Essential Graphics panel. The templates are just over here, and the one we have created together is just the first one. If these icons bother you, they are very big, click on the circle over here and just make it small so they become a list with small thumbnails. LT from AE is just over here. To use it, all you have to do is to click and drag it inside your sequence, as simple as this. You can play it, and you notice it has the exact timing and the exact speed from After Effects. Within the edit, you will find all the properties that you added in the template in After Effects. You have the source text, and we added the text properties where you can change the font, you can change the size of the font if you like, and on the top bar, they can come over and change the opacity of the top bar, for example, the color of the top bar, whatever you like, and so on. So all the properties you listed are in Premiere and can be changed, which makes the system now very powerful. If you notice here, we have exactly the same timing of After Effects. Now that used to bring a lot of problems, like it is now 5 seconds or 4 seconds, but the video editor wanted in a shorter time or a longer time, and stories like this. This is why responsive design has been added to CC 2019, which I will show you how to work with in the next lecture. In a previous section about responsive design, you have seen how to use the responsive design within After Effects. Now you can apply this in the templates here, and it's very useful and actually very powerful. Let's look at our animation a bit. If I open the keyframes, press U, you notice I have the intro over here, and I have the outro. Okay, so my main work in After Effects as animation is the intro and outro. Then I have this dead time where the lower third should stay on the screen. This is exactly according to the video editor if you want to use it in Premiere Pro, if you want to make this time longer or shorter. Now, without responsive design, if it stretches this, we have seen that in the responsive design section, if it stretches this timeline, it will actually also stretches or reduce the speed or increase the speed on the intro and the outro, which is sometimes very bad, and the animation cannot even be used. So what's the solution here? Well, actually, it's very easy. If you come to Composition and go to Responsive Design, Time, you have Create Intro. Let's create an intro. Also, let's go back and let's create an outro. So now I have an intro and an outro over here. Let's adjust them. So my intro should go up to the last keyframe, just over here. Okay, maybe I'll give it a couple of frames more. And the outro should go from the first keyframe to the last keyframe, right? And now, obviously, I can trim this composition. I bring it in, and then right-click and say Trim Comp to Work Area. Now I have two protected regions, the intro and the outro. So let's export this and go to Premiere and see exactly how it can work. So I will export it. It's going to ask me, the project need to be saved, yes. And over here, there is no change. I will just click OK. It's going to overwrite. Check for the fonts, sometimes for half hour. Be careful, don't cancel. If you cancel on the fonts, it will not save. Then let's go to Premiere now. Within Premiere, if you notice, nothing has happened. That's because I already have the lower third inside the timeline. So I will remove it from the timeline, go back to Browse, and put back the new one. Okay, you can call it the new one. So now, if I run the animation or I play it, it still have the same timing. But I would like to do is to increase the time on this template. The best way to do it is with the stretch tool. The stretch tool shortcut is R, so you click and drag. Now, if you play it, most probably it has already messed your work in After Effects, that is the intro and the outro animation. Let's play it. You notice actually it did not mess up anything. The protected regions have worked very nicely. And you notice the intro and the outro have been protected. If you think about it a bit, this is extremely powerful, and this used to make a lot of problems, because if the video editor stretched the template, then the timing of the whole template is messed up. I don't have the responsive design, so the intro and the outro will be messed up. Now let's make it shorter. We are going to go, for example, for 4 seconds, or 3 seconds will do. Okay, because our intro is almost 1 second, outro is almost 1 second, so 3 seconds is fine. We still have the same speed, and here you are, it's working fine. Now let's exaggerate and go to 2 seconds only, and let's see exactly what happened. Now of course it has sped up a bit our intro and outro. So actually it's working in all cases, and this is really what you want to create, and this is what you want to offer for yourself to work in Premiere Pro and for your clients, and also maybe you can do templates for resale and you are at peace. This is the power of responsive design with the motion graphics template. Now it has become an excellent tool for you to use all the time. In this lecture, I will show you how to use certain effects within the essential graphics, and some of them are quite important. You notice here that the text is fine. You can change the source text. You have this property and you have the transform. Very cool. But you don't have control over the color, which is the most important. What happened in your video editing? You want to change the blue to white and the color of the text to black or green, whatever you like. You cannot give control in this way. Well, I'm going to show you 2 solutions. The easy one and the complicated one. It's up to you to choose. Let's go to Effects and Preset, and let's look for Fill. I'm sure you already know that. You have over here the Fill effect. You can use the Fill Color Wipe. It's a bit complicated, but I'm sure you can come up with it. If you take the fill and drop it on the text, and let's go to Solo Properties. Let's see if you can use it. Well, you notice that the effect is already listed. That's pretty cool. And you have masks also. This is the color. You can invert it, and you have composition option. Very interesting. So you can take the color from the effect here and drop it just inside the text. Just put it under here. And you rename it, for example, to text color. As simple as this. You have now full control of the color of the text within the template over here, and you can pass it to the video editor or to yourself. So you have to look sometimes at solutions that are outside the regular ones over here. Let's look at the other solution. I will delete the effect from here, and of course it's going to delete from the template. And then let's go to Animate over here. In Animate you have the fill color, and you can use RGB, hue, saturation, or opacity. It would be nice to use the hue, in fact, but I will use RGB here. In RGB, let's make sure that the Solo Properties are listed. Actually, the whole animator is almost listed here, and that makes it pretty powerful. For now, we need only the fill color. Let's click on the fill color and just put it over here. And it's right in fill color. Let's add text. And here you are. You have set it up to be a full template with the color of the text. Of course, you can come over here, return it to white. Click OK, and it will change here. So actually, the 2 methods will work. The method of the effect and the method of the animator. There is also more. You can add certain properties here, like the stroke if you like, the stroke width. You can add some hue if you like to, or even work with the blur if that is necessary. It's up to you now to create even more. I'll show you one that I like very much. I'm gonna go for 4 dash, and I have the 4 color gradient. I'm gonna drop it on the top bar, as simple as this. Then go to Solo Supported Properties again, and you notice the effect is listed. Here it is with all the colors. Now it will be very cool to come to the top bar over here and add a formatting. We add a group inside the top bar, and let's call it gradient colors. Then take the 4 colors from the gradient. Here you are, color 1, 2, 3, and 4. Click on them and drop them inside the gradient colors. Here you are. Now you have a subgroup here, and you have listed all of them. If you export now, I will say save. I hope you have done a good job. Let's say OK, OK again. Then if you go back to Premiere Pro, by the way, it will not update any template inside your sequence. It will only update the templates inside the browse here. So I need to delete this one, which I will, and then take the new one and just drop it, okay, and come to the edit. We select it, and here you are. You have the top bar, the gradient colors over here, and you're doing quite a sophisticated job. And you have the text color. Let's put it inside where it's not opacity, okay, and then we change, for example, to black, whatever you like. Here you are. So now your template can become a very sophisticated and very useful templates with a lot of variables that you can use inside After Effects and export to Premiere Pro. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this was useful. I will see you in the next lecture.